as well. All right. Okay. Well, just to honour your time, I am going to get started. So welcome everyone to our Crystal Circle orientation call. I have met Susan and obviously Cedric, you now. I am assistant mentor to Roger for the Crystal Circle program and super excited to have you guys on board. My background is as a business coach. So I've been working, contracting, I guess you could say, to Roger for not Crystal Circle obviously, but Entrepreneurs Institute and also Entrepreneurs Resorts for about 6 years now. So I am a facilitator with Roger, for Roger in his program that's run out of Bali at Vision Villas, which is called iLab. So I'm off over there in about just over a week to kick off their 65th iLab program that we've run since it started. I think I attended in 2014 and that was number 8. So there has been quite a few. I think I've done 35 programs myself that I've facilitated. So I do that. Also, obviously, working with Roger with Crystal Circle and, yeah, work with Ingenious You. So I sort of have a bit of a spread across all Roger's companies. And the reason I do that is because I'm a star profile and it makes absolute sense for me to give value to others and stay totally in my flow. So that's part of the journey I'm going to be taking you on if I'm working with you as your assistant mentor. And I'll introduce the rest of the team shortly. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen so that you get a bit of a system. So hopefully everyone can see that. Yep, all good. Awesome. So I am going to start off after my brief introduction of getting you all to introduce yourself. So we're going to be going through, and I will take the screen off. I'll take the stop sharing shortly so that we can see who you are when you're speaking. So the idea is, you know, as much time as you feel you need to say who you are, where you're from, your website. I would love if not only you tell me your website, because some people speak very fast and I don't get to capture what it is, but you also put it in the chat box as well so that I can make sure that I've got that. I want to introduce you to the rest of the Crystal Circle group with, you know, about 200 plus people in the group now. There's a great mix of entrepreneurs. So if I can get your website or websites put in the chat box. And also, by the way, if your name is not coming up on this as your actual name, and it's some people log in as others, make sure you do put your name in the chat box as well. And most importantly, what are you most excited about tomorrow? Geez, you can tell my head's moving ahead. What are you most excited about in regards to the program, you know, joining Crystal Circle and where you're at? So if you can note that down, who you are, where you're from, your website, and what you're most excited about, because I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to the person who's on the top of my video, which is Susan. So if you'd like to, if you're not already, unmute and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susan Ritter. I am actually Canadian that spent 20 plus years in the States, and a year ago I moved to Penang. So I'm living here in Penang now for, I'm not sure how long. We'll see. We thought it would be only a couple years, but we love it here. So it might be like another 20 years like the last move I made. So we'll see. I don't have a website. I just have an email address. And I'm just excited about getting started on the next chapter in my life, actually. I've had an exciting career. I did project management, which of course is already in my flow. I am an accumulator. And I'm just looking forward to finding, I guess, the next big project in my life that I can focus on. So I wanted to join the Crystal Circle to see what other people were doing, find some creative people, some intelligent and excited people to work with. And so that's why I'm here.
So, Susan, do you want to share a little bit what we talked about the other night about your passion around education, because that could relate to others on the call as well?
Okay. So a few years ago, well, actually, when my son was born 14 years ago, I got really excited about introducing him to the world. And so in my career, I redirected what I was doing and my plans for taking him out into the world as soon as I could. That's why we're in Penang now. But as I've watched what's been going on in America, I realized that young people are growing up being told to do what we've always done, what I did, which was get through school, go to university, get a degree that's going to pay you some money and a good job, go find a really good job, and you're good for life. And that worked for me, but I don't see that working for the young people today. America is not where it was when I was growing up. And I think that the world is really, Asia's the place to be nowadays. That's what's growing. But I see the kids that are in Patrick's group here being given the same message that I was given as well. So they're growing up here, and then they're going to America to go to university with some idea that they would get work there and end up in a big job there. So I think the message has to go out to kids that there's alternatives to that plan. I think school's still a good idea, but I don't think $100,000 in school fees is the way to start. And so there has to be alternatives for kids. And I think this organization gives them a different message where they can choose to work for themselves. They can get experience, work with other people, find out what they want before they get started, instead of struggling through a number of years of university just to figure out what they want to do first. And the old models just don't work anymore. So what I've seen in this program is a new model that I really like. And so that's what I'm hoping to engage with. So.
Perfect. Thanks, Susan. Thanks very much for that. And yeah, as we've discussed and you already know about, and this is for everyone else too that don't know this, like Roger's very passionate about obviously the global goals and, you know, knowing in particular that these young and upcoming entrepreneurs of the world are the change makers that are going to make a difference. And we need to be educating them in such a way that those changes can be made that, you know, ultimately allows us to have a world that's great for our grandchildren, great-grandchildren and onwards. And so he forms a lot of partnerships with different people in different arenas. And one of those is with Angie Stead, that he's formed a partnership around Genius Educators and Genius Schools, and they've got Genius Camps. And this is an area that he's very, very passionate about helping. And, you know, even for yourself, thinking about, you know, the movements and the changes that you do want to make globally, other than just in your local community, there's always opportunities to gain those partnerships or to, you know, to align with someone else, either whether it's Roger or someone else in the community that can support you to take your journey at a leverage level instead of, you know, trying to do it all yourself. And this is where a lot of these like Genius Educators and that came from, is just ideas and getting together at different events and talking about their passions. And then Roger goes, wow, that's something we could do. And that's where Genius Educators, Genius Schools was born. That's where Health Dynamics was born. Just conversations. So, you know, keeping in mind that this community is phenomenal when it comes to the collaboration and the like-minded people and the purposeful, you know, ideas that people have. So thanks, Susan. Appreciate that. Awesome. Okay. Jeff, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi.
I started to write down the things that you put on the screen, but you took it off right as I was writing it down. Who you are, website?
Yeah. Where you're from and what you're most excited about.
Okay. Adeline, do you want to go or I'm sorry, Min, do you want to go or should I go? Why don't let's turn. I'm Adeline's spouse, and we're business partners as well. We have an established business. So do you want to do this? Go ahead,
Yeah,
Adeline.
let me do this. Hi, Susan.
Awesome.
Hi, everyone. So,
Hi.
so I go by Adeline. I know it shows human on the screen, but I go by Adeline. So Jeff and I are life partners and also business partners. And our goal in joining Crystal Circle is to grow our business about 10 times from where it is today. So then, and our goal is in 12 months to take home $100,000 a month from our business. Right now, we're taking around $10,000 a month from the business. So it's an online website. We offer a mental health therapy product that is do-it-yourself. What we're doing is disrupting the traditional mental health therapy business. So where people used to have to go to therapists and see them and pay $150 or $200 an hour, what we're doing is offering a self-help module where you can get mental health therapy as and when you need it at a much more affordable cost. The therapy that we offer is called EMDR, which stands for Eye Movement Desensitization and Reprocessing Therapy. It is recognized by the WHO, American Psychiatric Association, and many other global health organizations as effective therapy for PTSD, for depression, for anxiety. So many of the illnesses that we see people in the modern world starting to get very aware about. So there are about 3 million people in the world who have used EMDR therapy and many more who want to use EMDR therapy but who don't have access to it. And we believe that the solution that we have enables EMDR to be used by many other people who need it. And in addition, people who are already using it, it enables them to use it more often when they need it. Because the way traditional therapy works is you get your slot every Thursday at 4 o'clock, right? If you need it on Sunday at 2 a.m., there's no other way for you to get it. And you just have to wait until Thursday at 4 o'clock. So what we've done is taken that and said, if you need it right now and you only need it for 10 minutes, you don't need it for 1 hour, you need it in the middle of the night, you need it when you're traveling, you now have access to this therapy. So we have had about 10,000 people sign up and use our product over the 5 years that we've been in business. At any one time, we have about 1,000 to 2,000 active users on the site. What we're looking to do is to really grow that business. When we attended Roger's session last week, what we were very inspired about was his challenge in terms of making us think about how would an entrepreneur 5.0 think about this business instead of entrepreneur 3.0 or 4.0. And I think where we're at is still at the 3.0, 4.0 mindset. What we're looking to do is to really push our thinking, push our business, think about new streams of revenue, think about new ways of building a community instead of just building a customer group. So in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Wow, that's awesome. And what's interesting about that, I met up with a client of mine the other day, a brand new client, and she's in Australia because I'm from Australia, if you hadn't worked out the accent. And she specialises in mental health. So she's been writing a lot of policies for the government.
Great.
And her passion is definitely mental health and going and spreading messages in a whole different way and supporting people to see that sometimes the surface of what is being put out there is a challenge, is not it. So it'd be super cool to connect you guys too. She's an amazing lady, and she's Australian based, so there could be some connection or collaboration there with you guys too.
We would love to.
Really quick, one of the things requested was our website. I typed it into Zoom chat if anyone wants to see it. So
yeah, I saw that. Thanks, Jeff. So is it only you two in the business at the moment, or do you don't have a team? Are you looking to get a team, or where are you at with that?
So the way it works now, So the way it works right now actually is Jeff, who's full-time on the business, and I chip in part-time, but I have a full-time corporate job. Given where the business is at right now, we are looking at me coming on board, transitioning to be full-time on board. So it's Jeff full-time in the business, and we use contractors for various pieces. So we use contractors for technology. We use contractors for marketing. So we use contractors where needed. So it's a very light touch business model that we have right now.
Awesome. That's really, really exciting. And I'm so happy to hear that you guys are in that arena, because, it's definitely something that's out there in such a big way, and it's not taboo. It is something that is definitely needs to be easy to access. And, that's awesome. That's exciting. I can totally understand why Roger invited you in.
Thank you.
Well done. What's your profiles, wealth profiles?
So we're both creators. I'm no.
To be clear, I have not had my profile done, so we're speculating. They told me yesterday that they would hook me up with, I think, Melody to get my profile done. So I'd like to get it done.
Yeah, totally. You'll get a token if you haven't got that already. You will get that.
Okay.
And Adeline, you are creator. Have you done yours?
I have done mine. I came out as a creator. I believe I'm probably a little bit more mechanic than creator. So my corporate background is finance and strategy. So probably that's more on the Lord side, but I enjoy a lot the creating side. Jeff hasn't done his, but I'm pretty sure he's a creator.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is too, just to add on to that a little bit too, sometimes we lean more one way that it feels natural because it's a skill that we have. And then when we get into actual flow, and you probably are secondary mechanic, but when we get into a little bit more flow, we see that our natural way is the opposite. So it's just like I'm a star profile in my past life, I was a bookkeeper. Totally opposite than what my profile is, but I lived in a very much of a, even though I was fighting it, I lived in a very much of a tempo steel energy as opposed to the blaze and dynamo that I naturally fit into. So and being in a job can definitely lean us towards an area. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there in jobs in flow too. So but yeah, what you're doing and with your online system and stuff like that makes sense, more mechanical. So, yeah, awesome. Well, we'll check that out and find out where you're at moving forward.
Great.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. Ernest.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, totally. How are you?
Hi, okay. Yeah, good. Okay, yeah, I'm from Singapore. I'm 55. I run a hearing aid company. Yeah, basically, I've been running it for 15 years. I mean, I've been able to build a very strong team, and they are quite independent. And I would say about just 6 months ago, I was offered a full distribution for Cambodia. And again, I managed to form quite a strong team over there, and they are running quite smoothly. So what I realized is, my strength is to hopefully train and mentor a group of youngsters who are highly driven, and just guide them and let them run the business. So through the running of the hearing aid business, I came about to learn about digital marketing, and wow, that really blew my mind. I found that wow, digital marketing, I could do so much amazing things, and so that kind of drove me to say, hey, I'm going to start a company in doing digital marketing. Yeah. So actually, that's one of my reason that I joined the Crystal Circle group. Yeah. Anyway, my company is the Hearing Center. The website is www.thehearingcenter.sg. Yeah. So yeah, correct. Yeah. So I mean, through some of the knowledge that I've learned through my vendor who provide me the service of digital marketing, I found that, wow, it's truly amazing. And there's just so much that can be done using digital marketing. Yeah.
Okay, so your goal is you obviously got your hearing aid company that is being run in 2 countries, and this is a new venture.
Yes, it's a new venture. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So what's your profile, Ernest?
I haven't done it, but I think I'm a creator.
It sounds like it. It sounds like you're a creator. Awesome. So you will all get your emails with all the links to do these as well. And if you've done the test before, you can go and redo them, or you can gift the token to someone else. Sometimes it's good to know, for those of you who haven't got partners in business, it's good to use it for them and find out a little bit more about the profiling and how that works. That's awesome, Ernest. It's really great to hear that you're in a position that you've got a team that you can guide and run the business without you. And then obviously be, young entrepreneurs of the future as well. And, this is the thing, is what a lot of us are striving for, is being able to create a team of people who are passionate about the future, and not only at the business, our business, but also, the world as a whole. and what they can do and teaching them to do things. So that's really inspiring. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, Cedric, over to you.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Cedric. So like Ernest, I'm from Singapore. So for those of you guys who haven't been to Singapore before, we only have two kinds of weathers in Singapore. We have hot and we have hotter, right? So right now I happen just in my car, which is a very cozy moment. I do my best thinking in my car, and to run away from corporate work. So a bit about my business. Actually, I'm in this with my business partner Flora, which also happens to be in the call. So the name of our business is called Connecting Experiences. The website is community.connectingexperiences.com. And I encourage you guys to go and check it out. Now, this business is very new. It's like just 2 months old, right? And the website is still in development. No, we're still growing the community. But the whole idea of connecting experiences is that we want to help people, and we help brand owners, help content creators grow the community. So for businesses who have digital marketing presence, they want to have a community for engagement, for retention, for upselling, for creating more value, right? We help them do that, and by combining multiple communities together and adding value to what they do and what they believe in, we believe in connecting more experiences, connecting more synergy, and then the whole platform grows as its own, right? And one of the features of why we decide to do what we do is because the social media space is very noisy nowadays. There's many communities in all over the place. So we try to integrate everything to one place where we allow a brand owner, a content creator to have posts, have questions, have events, have articles, all in one place. And every time people post something, everyone in that particular community, their own, gets notified. And they can also have payment models, payment plans, subscription models, all put in place into it, into their own community, even though our main community, Connecting Experiences, is free. So that's the vision that what we're trying to do. And so far, right now it's just me and Flora. We hope to grow the team. We hope that through connecting with Crystal Circle, with Terri and everyone here, you guys are really able to help us give more ideas and really scale this up and hopefully turn this into a legacy, right? Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks, Cedric. Would Flora like to add anything to that? We'd love to meet her as well.
Hi, everyone. Yes. Well, basically, I think I'm on the same page with Cedric, and that's part of the reason why we decided to come together to set this up. And we hope to actually help more business owners in the so-called the market to actually build their own network as well as community, so that their business can grow further.
Beautiful. And it sounds like a good team. So what profile are you both?
I don't
really
know. Well, I'm a ESFP, I think a creator as well. That's what I have not done the profiling though.
Okay, so you still need to do that. That's that will happen. And Cedric, have you done yours yet?
Yeah. So, well, for me, I have not done mine, but I can identify myself as a creator because the people say I'm like a light bulb. I'm more of a dynamo, I guess. Yeah. If that helps. Yeah.
It's interesting if you think about it, like. Most people sit within Crystal Circle. There's definitely the spread of all the different profiles, but the majority are in that dynamo blaze. And if you think who your customers are and which profiles tend to buy the easiest, it's because a lot of the other profile, like the steel and the tempo energy, tend to sit back and consider things. They're a lot more considerate of choices, whereas the dynamo blaze, if they're excited and they can see value in something, they're the ones that will tend to go, awesome, when do we get started? And the others you've got to be more considerate with and take a bit more time with. So it's a good lesson on thinking about who your customers are, and you know how you communicate to them in such a way, or how what their buying processes are as well. So thanks for sharing that. That's really exciting, because something really key now is, you know, community is so important. And Roger's got the Entrepreneur Socials. I'm a city leader for Perth, Western Australia, for Entrepreneur Socials. It's all about community. It's all about bringing people together, and you know, having like-minded people understanding things, and knowing that they can access things from others that are in the community. So this is really super cool. And I'm a Dynamo Blaze, so it works exceptionally well with me. So looking forward to working with you further and seeing this moving forward. Thanks, Cedric and Flora.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, and by the way, Flora, I love your Ikigai up on the wall out there.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Yeah, something Roger's very passionate about. He's actually creating the Ikigai test with everything aligned and overlaying with it. So that'll be coming very shortly as well. So awesome. Thanks, guys. Have I missed anyone? I think I've got everyone. Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing. All right. I'm going to re-share my screen and get this back up. Let's put you guys up the top. So occasionally my screen gets covered. I don't do it at full screen, otherwise I'll lose your photos, and I'd like to look at you as well. All right, so carrying on and giving you a little bit more about the program, and take you into some more tools and different things we've got. But more so just give you some insight into how it's going to work for you from this moment onwards. So I know Susan and I have had a conversation already that some of the others of you hopefully have, if not spoken to Donna, you have got a call scheduled with Donna to just say hi. So she gives a bit of insight. And the idea for us is to find out where you're at from a more down to the ground level, and thinking about the strategies that we can best support you with. So ultimately, Roger is the person that gives that high level expert guidance, but Donna and I are exceptionally experienced about giving you the strategy that's going to support that guidance to really get momentum. Because it's one thing to have a high level creator that says, wow, this is exciting, you should do this, you should connect up with this person, but having the process to be able to follow for that as well is super important. So that's what we do. So you get a year of mentoring with Roger, hopefully more. Hopefully we get you to see the massive value this program has and continue on the journey with us. So 5.5 years I was in Crystal Circle before I became a mentor of it. So you can see that the value is very high. Otherwise I wouldn't have stayed in there, I'll tell you that. So you've got Roger, you've got Donna and myself, Sandra Morell, who some of you may have got to meet. I believe she was in Singapore at the event. She's a business partner with Roger. She's one of the mentors that you have access to as well. So where you've got Donna, who's the solid dynamo, you've got myself, that's Dynamo Blaze, and you've got Sandra, that's Steel. So and she also steps into that tempo. So you've got mentors that can support you in all the different energies, and you've got access to us all, and you can book calls with us all. So we're here to help you take your business to the level that you choose, with the guidance of what's realistic, and sometimes stretching you a bit further than you thought was possible. So Roger's mentoring is always about, if this was me, this is what I would do. And he's obviously got, you know, close to $100 million company now, and has made all the mistakes that I think we could make, and has now got the pathway pretty much right. Still learning, obviously, from some of the best in the world, how to take this to the top level. So we're going to support you all the way through. So knowing that you have got that level of support. So the goal is obviously to help you take your business 10 times where it is. And I always say to anyone, 10 times 0 is still 0. So set your targets at a good level so we can make sure we can support with that. More than anything, I think Cedric and Flora, this is so relevant to you, what you guys do, but everyone, is the community that you are connected in. There's over 30 different countries that are involved. Roger's going out. Roger's continually traveling. So if you follow him on Facebook, you will see You know, he was obviously in Singapore just recently. He's in South Africa now. He's got two parts of Crystal Circle. One is the monthly group, which you guys are part of, and the other one is the quarterly, where they catch up with Roger for 2 days on a quarterly basis. At the moment, ready to kick that off later this week. And he's just going to different countries, either running his events or doing these Crystal Circle programs. So the two countries that he does do the quarterly events in is South Africa and the US. So he's, and then he's off to the US in September. How he does this, getting on and off a plane all the time, I don't know, but he loves it. Otherwise he wouldn't do it. So, but the good thing about him doing that is that he introduces new members all the time to the community, and you've got access to all these members and the new markets and the opportunities that are there, and the things that are coming out of this group are phenomenal. So people that came in at a phenomenal level, or people that have created amazing opportunities for you all to be part of, is the community as well. So your monthly course, you'll be allocated to a group. Within your group, you will stay within that group until such time as either, it's generally Roger will say, we will move you to another group because you might have progressed, where you may be in an enterprise level group and you're progressing to the emerald level group, which is that more of a team level. So if you're already like Ernest, who's got a team, I would say you'd automatically be put into the emerald level. The others of you start off at enterprise and you grow. Like I started enterprise and I ended up in emerald, and Roger's now got a sapphire group as well, which is those massively big multi-million-dollar companies that are all aligning together as well. So you get 10 calls with Roger per year. As you can see here, the only 2 months he does not do calls is July and December, because even Roger needs a break. So he has in July, he went to Hamilton Island, just off Australia, and had a holiday, deep sea diving and just having a bit of time out. He will do the same in December. It's time with his family. But during those months, you don't miss out. There are bonuses that another mentor, whether it be Sandra, Michelle Clark, who you may have met or heard of, Donna, or myself, that will run a bonus session for you guys. So you get access to the 12-month program. And you will be told very shortly the group that you're in, as that says down there as well. Now, our communication is obviously when we get to speak to you, you will be getting emails. Now, what I will say is you will get a lot of emails. And the reason that you do is because there's so many bonuses with this program. So you're able to access Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind, which is a monthly group that Roger holds, which has a similar format to Crystal Circle from how the documents that you would fill in for the call, but you don't get to speak to Roger. So Crystal Circle is where you have that mentoring with him. So you, in your group, you have that mentoring with him. Whereas Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind, you can just send in your questions and he will answer as many as he possibly can on those calls, or he will then record a video afterwards to answer those that he hasn't got to. And that is where he's interviewing key like global speakers and change makers. So he's just had, I can't remember his name. That was just on the last one. Some of you may already be in Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind, so you get to access that as well. But that's a different, sorry?
That was Ryan Levesque.
It was too. Yes, it was Ryan Levesque off Money Revealed. Yes, thanks, Susan. I did watch it, so I should have known that. So there's the level of the likes of him. For those of you who did get to see Roger on Money Revealed, you see the caliber of mentors that he works with, and they say the same about him as well, because he was key on that. So the two main communication areas outside of the emails, which, like I said, you will get a fair few of. And the idea is we've now created a central resource, which is a website. The link is there. You will get that sent to you. And it is for members. It's Crystal Circle members only have access to this website. It's brand new. It's got all the information that you will need on there. So you can go in and search that in the meantime if you like. I'll put it in the chat box in a moment. But this is where you will find the access to all the call links, everything that you need from the extra calls that you get. Apart from your group will be emailed to you, so you'll get that call link. But it will also, the information, we're centralising obviously as much as we can, so there's not too much noise, because like Cedric says, like social media and that's so busy and crazy and noisy. We try to keep it as centralised as possible. But Facebook, we still use. So we've got your Crystal Circle Facebook group, which is once again only for Crystal Circle members. If someone discontinues their journey, chooses to transition onto another program, not staying in Crystal Circle, they are not kept in the group. So the group is only for Crystal Circle members. We also have the Genius U Circle, which is Roger Hamilton's Crystal Circle. And that's where he will go in, and when you're having your call with Roger, he will have that open, and he is posting website examples, links to different things. Your call recording will be posted in there, and he will use that a lot. And so it's building momentum. We'd love everyone using the Genius U platform a little bit more than some are. But that's just getting you used to it, because it's massive, right? It's a massive platform. So I don't know how many of you have been in and had a look at it or started using it, but there's access to so many different things, and it's really just finding out the right place to access them. You may get an email from Duncan Stanley, who works with the team. He's an expert. He's our community manager for Genius U, and he can guide you through anything you need in that. So there's a lot of support that you'll be getting. But yeah, making sure that you are regularly checking the Facebook group and also the Genius U Circle. If you haven't already been invited into that, you will very shortly. If you find that you haven't seen an invite, please connect with us and we'll get you in. But yeah, there's the website is definitely something new and exciting. We've been waiting for that to happen for a while. So I'll show you that shortly as well. Actually, what I'll do, I might actually share some of these things with you now so we can just have a quick look. Let me just open this up. All right, just bear with me a moment.
Terri,
Yes.
with all of these different communication platforms, I typically don't do very much social media because I'm just afraid of getting sucked into the vortex. So how do we just manage that? And you could sit and read a whole thread of stuff for hours and hours and not really do anything productive. So how do you recommend using these tools?
Yes, so that's a really, really great question, Susan, because we can get so overwhelmed with everything that's there. And I think it's just allocating a small amount of time each week just to review where things are at. But we will direct you when's the best time to go and look at certain things. But you'll find that because the community are on these, that, it is good to allocate time. Like I allocate about an hour a week where I'm going in and looking at the questions that are being asked. The big thing about these platforms is it's not so much about what you get from it, it's what you give. So your contribution on these is paramount, but also to have questions answered. So it's just really putting the quality time in, so it's part of your process. However, we may say go and post that on the Crystal Circle Facebook group because you will get responses. We will direct you as much as possible, but yeah, definitely putting a certain amount of time per week. And I'm sure Cedric and Flora are pretty good at, being able to share ideas around that as well. But, it really is, some people go, I'm just not looking, it's too overwhelming. So I am going, but that's a great question. I'm going to share, this is the new website. Let me just, all right, hopefully you can see that. I'll just make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is super cool. We had a few typos. If you do happen to see any, please let us know, because it is brand new, and every now and again with 50 people looking at it, you still miss things. So this has got everything that's included in your program. So this is like a way that you can go if you need to know something. If you save this, that you've got access to it. It explains, it's got the monthly programs, it's got the quarterly meets, so you've just got a bit of an idea. We occasionally get asked, look, I'm going to South Africa, is there any chance that I can catch up with those members there? That, you know, obviously they're not on the monthly calls, so you don't get to meet them from that perspective, but yeah, sure, because they're part of the group anyway. We've got our, and I will be going through this, we've got our Crystal Circle conference coming up in Bali this year, which is from the check-in on the 9th, check-out on the 13th of October. Sorry, I'd love to actually see as many of you attending that as possible. It's fairly close for you guys. It is like this is where the community does come together. So obviously we've got people globally. Not everyone can make it, but the idea is to get as many people as we can. And it's Roger's value add. So if you want some more Roger magic in person, yeah, he runs this, and you get access to him. You get access to the other Crystal Circle members. It's just truly inspiring event. So hopefully we can get you onto that. You can go and find out more information about that on there. I'll run through some of the other things that Roger does with you. Here's the steps, like your welcome call. If you haven't already had that, you will get that. So hopefully everyone has, if not, I think Donna said there was a couple on Thursday that she's got booked. Your orientation call, which you're on now, joining the community. So you can go in and click on these and get into the, your community yourself. The next steps is booking your strategy session with either Donna or myself, whoever you've been allocated. If you don't know, you will be told that who you're allocated to as an assistant mentor. For that strategy session, what you will need to do, and you can get them off here, but you'll also receive an email with the links, is 3 documents that needed to be filled in, preferably 3 days before your call, so that we can review them to give you the best value out of the call. And yeah, so it's probably an hour or so's worth of work, depends how much effort you put into it. As much information as you possibly can with those helps us immensely. So our goal is to get you as prepared for your flow of calls with Roger as possible, and make whatever you're doing now as part of Crystal Circle business as usual. We have the calls that you will have. Like I said, the quarterly meets is for the quarterly group. You'll get notified of when your calls are. This is something I was talking about, additional calls. There's Sandra. You can go in after your, do not do this until preferably, well, definitely after your strategy call. You can have a mentoring call before your call with Roger, but it's usually the best option is to have your call with Roger and then book a mentoring call pretty much straight away after that, so that we can support you with the steps that Roger's given you. So as much as possible, Donna and I are listening in on the calls. If not actually live on the calls, we're listening to the recording. So, and if we haven't had a chance to, and you book a call, we will go and listen to what Roger's feedback's given to you. So as I was saying, Sandra, she's the Lord, so she's the Steely and the tempo. She's also got that dynamo as well. There's Donna and there's myself. So you can use this link to book a call with us. We do say if we can limit them to 1 a month. However, I'm going to say to you, if there are gaps and you do need support, just book a call. I'd much rather you book additional calls than go, I really am I'm stuck and I'm feeling a bit frustrated at the moment. So please go in and book them as need. Yeah, any of us can help you, but it's obviously better to choose the mentor that's best suited to your question. Depends on where you're at. Genie issue navigation call, that's Duncan. So Duncan Stanley I spoke about. You can book a call with him or he will be in touch. Bonus webinars, what I'm talking about, and so on and so forth. So all these tabs at the top will just lead you to those. All the resources in one spot. Oh my God, you do not know how long we've been asking for this. I'm so excited that we've finally got it. So access to all the spreadsheets. By the way, you can access every recording of every call that Roger does. So it's not just your group. You can go in and listen to others in the same level. You can, if you're an enterprise, you can listen to the Emerald and the Sapphire group calls. This is a part of Crystal Circle. It's a community thing. It's not always the advice Roger gives you that you get the most value from. Sometimes it's the advice he gives to someone else. And even I learned so much. My constant education is listening to the calls, because Roger's always got some new thing coming out of his head that he's giving a recommendation to. So it is a lot of time. But, you know, if you've got time and you've got a couple of hours spares, just go and listen to one of the other calls. In particular, if you're aspiring to get to that Sapphire level, listen to the Sapphire calls and listen to what he's saying. If you're an enterprise and you're looking to go green, listen to the Emerald calls. Otherwise, some of the people in enterprise are in startup. So obviously hearing how they're working with their startup businesses as well. So, or anything that you will need. Here's the conference, bit more, the 10th to the 13th, not the 9th of October. One of the events that we are going on very shortly, I'm so excited to be going on, is the Journey of Lights tour. Roger takes Crystal Circle members on, and investors. He's got investors as well. He takes them on a tour every year. Last year they climbed the Great Wall of China and they went to Japan. This year the Journey of Lights, which is India, Nepal and Tibet. I get to go on this one this year, so I'm really, really looking forward to that. Next year they've got the Tokyo Olympics. So there's so many opportunities to be able to spend time with Roger and, you know, be part of a greater experience as well. So it is definitely about experiences or your events, and I'll leave it to you guys to go in and have a look at that. But most of the questions you have should be answered here. If not, you can reach out to Donna or myself. Probably first point of call is Melody, so you'll get her email address. But definitely Donna and I are available to support you in any way possible. So that is a little bit about that. So I'm just going to get this back up and share it again, my presentation. And feel free to jump in if you've got questions like Susan. Thank you very much. There's not a huge number of us on this call, so it's okay if you have a burning question if you would like to ask it. Okay, back on board. Okay, so this is something that is really, really important to everyone, and it's how you should be looking at how you operate your businesses if you don't already. And that is how, it's like your rules of the game, I guess, but in this case we call it our CARE code, which you can see stands for confidence, authority, responsibility and empathy. And what I'd love to do, I'm going to share a little bit about these, each of those, and I want you to be thinking about what you resonate with most. Now, you will potentially resonate with them all, but there will be one that will stand out more than others. And it helps us obviously see as mentors how we can best support you based on, you know, what it is and why. So when I get some sharing at the end, you'll be saying, this is my one I resonated with the most and this is why. So, okay, so the CARE code, confidence is something that we see a lot of the time as our own level of confidence, but it's not only about us, it's about others as well. It's being, I guess, our own confidence enough to help others support others to be confident. With this program, it's very much about, we're relying on Roger's confidence to help us, and you're relying on Donna's and mine as well, but it's backing yourself and stepping up to what you need to do to get to that next step, and really feeling like you're in a position of trust and a position of self-trust, not just trust in the community that you've got there. And confidence is, apart from building up the others, like I was saying, that's super, super important that we're always doing that. Is the side of it, which is the word confidence, which is confidentiality. This is something that does come up, particularly when we're talking about filling in your financial documents. Like some people say, I don't want to give my finances because I don't want to share that. Who else gets to see it? You are only sharing that information with us as mentors. You're not sharing that information with anyone else in the group. For us to be able to support you best, we're going to keep this confidential, but us to support you best, we do need to know where you're at. So sometimes there's partnership agreements that says you can't share confidential information with others. If you've got a challenge with anything like this, you just let us know. We're not going to say you can't continue. We'll just work with you with what information you can give us. So please understand that and it is confidential, and not just your information, but you can confide in us in any way, shape or form. Whatever happens between us as mentors, and as obviously with Roger, your calls are in group, but what happens as individuals with us as mentors when you're on our one-to-one calls, you can confide in us. If there is a need and we agree there's a need to get support from someone else, we will reach out for that. But you can know that whatever you say is in confidence, if that's the way you choose it to be. So confidence is a big one. So it's not only about like yourself or about others, it's knowing that there's confidence in the program and what you're doing within it as well. One thing I will say, and I'll go a little bit more into confidence just because it does come up a lot, is people say, what about if we're sharing things, our IP, how do we know that's safe? How do we know someone else is not going to steal our ideas? Believe me, there's enough ideas floating around this community, and I haven't heard, there's so many creators, it's unbelievable. I haven't heard of people ever taking someone's IP and doing anything with it. It's collaboration. This whole community is about collaboration. So Roger's, all his information is free. What's not free is his mentoring. What is not free are the programs that he runs where you can get access on how to actually use this information. But you can access nearly anything Roger does for free. Genius U is free. He does not have a problem with anyone taking his stuff. We are trained as master trainers to be able to deliver his, but I'm sure these people out there already delivering it that are not trained as trainers. They're not damaging his brand. He's already at a place where the company is so big that anyone who wants quality knows where to go to get it. And the likes of you and myself will pay for that. So that's another thing that's key with this, is that your IP is safe. You're not going to be concerned. In fact, some people have probably got ideas that you can add on to what you've got. And then together, like I said, that's that collaboration. Okay, so moving on. I just did want to put a bit more into that confidence. Authority is about you writing your own story. It's being in that place of authority in your own life. Yes, Roger is your, the mentor. Yes, he's going to guide you, but it's still your journey. It's still your story. If something doesn't resonate with you that he said, then that's fine. We just work out the best way forward. Roger will go in based on his level of understanding of the information he gets. He will give advice according to that. For some, it's not exactly what they want to hear at that time. And that's sometimes a good thing and a bad thing. It can be a good thing because you need to hear it at that time and you're just pushing back because you don't want to hear it. It can be a bad thing, and not a bad thing, but meaning that Roger's not fully understanding. He hasn't got enough context around what you're saying. So therefore he needs more information to give the right recommendations. So always give as much specific context as you can to Roger so that he can advise you best. But ultimately it's your journey. It's like you're designing your own life. We're just the guiding lights for it. And we're going to make sure that you're heading in the direction that you choose to. So this is really important, that you're leading yourself in the way that you need to. Okay, moving on. Responsibility. Responsibility is obviously what it says. It's being responsible for your own thoughts, feelings and actions. And we all have those moments in time when we get frustrated. We feel like we're not getting what we want from it. It happens in Crystal Circle, believe me. There will be moments that you'll experience that. It's overwhelm and, they said they were going to do this and they haven't done it. Why haven't they done it? We need to be responsible ourselves as well. So my thing, if someone has promised something and I haven't got it, I will just remind them and say, please remember that you said you were going to do that. If I have to remind them 3 times, yeah, it can get a little bit frustrating. But it's taking responsibility for yourself with that. and moving forward, and being or having ownership for where you're at. The biggest thing, and Ernest, you would know this with your team, the biggest thing is definitely allowing your team to take full ownership of their choices and allowing them to see that you trust them enough to make choices that can impact the business, and they've got the ability to make the decisions that are, you know, at a positive, and not everything is the right decision, but they learn from it. So, you know, knowing there's that level of trust and they have that ownership as well. So putting people in a space where they can take the responsibility. And last but not least is empathy. And this, as opposed to sympathy, is just understanding where people are at, not buying into their story, no matter whether it's a really sad story or whatever. It's just being understanding of it and holding a space for them. We all have things that happen in our life without any doubt. And some are things that we choose. Some are, that some are controlling. We allow them to control us, and others are lessons. It's too easy for people to want to stay in that space of poor me, and we can keep them in that space if we're sympathising with them as opposed to empathising. So that's the difference that you would know. And also being key to yourself, knowing that you can go through moments, like I always say, if I feel a bit annoyed about something, I feel frustrated, I allow myself to have 30 minutes of that, and then I snap out of it, because it's not serving me or anyone else staying in it, no matter what's happened. So it's about bringing the best out in yourself, and then obviously the relationships of others. You'll find Crystal Circle, there's a lot of heart and soul within it, and the balance that comes from within the community and the ability to share and connect is phenomenal. It is like, I've been part of many communities, and it's probably the one of the best I've known from that perspective of people who just want to help each other. So please reach out. Okay, so when I come back to you, you can say which one of the care you resonate with the most as I went on. So now, just to introduce, there's me in the middle, but the team, so to speak, you would have met Penny. I'm sure you've all met Penny. I mean, she's from Singapore because our office is in Singapore. And Penny is a little pocket rocket. She's a trader profile. She's the nurturer of the community. She leads this. So she's the person that's supporting that with Donna. So Donna and I are both mentors. Donna's the head coach trainer, I guess, you could say for Entrepreneurs Institute as a whole. So she's done a lot of training around other programs. So she works very closely in with Penny. In fact, we'll be doing a lot more of the higher level stuff. You will have connection with Donna, as Penny is more aligning herself with Roger and supporting him on his trips. Like, she basically makes sure Roger turns up everywhere, and she makes sure that he has everything he needs, and is coordinating. I guess you could say she's the Roger moderator. So where she's doing that, it's getting busier and busier. So she's taking on a lot more of that role, and she's definitely in the leadership team with Entrepreneurs Institute. But yeah, Donna is a wealth of knowledge. She has her own company called Boss 365. She's very integral in Entrepreneurs Institute and Crystal Circle with the value that she can give. She's iLab that I run for Roger in Bali. She's a mentor for that as well. So you will come across Donna if you do Wealth Dynamics Masters. Both her and I have been mentors for that. She's a mentor for the next one coming up. But you'll love Donna. She's that very dynamo creator, but still very grounded creator that can bring ideas into fruition. And as coaches, that's what we should be doing anyway. So therefore, that gives a little bit of insight into us. Now, there's Melody, who is part of the team. So obviously you haven't got a photo here. And there's so many others behind the scenes that too many to put onto a photo. But you can reach out to each and any one of us. Like I said, the biggest thing is make sure you are reaching out and not sitting there thinking you don't know who to go to, because who to go to is any of us. Melody, you'll find, will be there supporting you all the way through. So that's a little bit about us. Obviously, Roger which you already know. Okay, so I've been through this. This is the, sorry, there's something on here that shouldn't be on here. This is what I actually went through on the website. The last one, you will get access to Your Life, Your Legacy and Spectrum reports, which will be emailed to you, but it is not on a USB. So apologies for that. I did need to take that away. We used to hand out a little USB with all Roger's information on. However, you can access it online now. But the reason that we don't is because there were some documents missing out of some, and there was too many of them for us to go through. So we stopped doing it. So I need to take that off. Yeah, so there's the email. It's crystalcircle@entrepreneursinstitute.com is your first point of call. The website, like I said, will help you immensely. And this is only obviously the beginning stages of what's available to you. The bonuses of what you get will all be sent out. What I will say, my biggest advice to you all is just take what you feel you need for now and not get caught up in, I need to do everything. I need Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind. I've got that. I've got to schedule that into my diary. You know, I've got my calls with Roger and oh, what else am I part of? These other groups that I've joined up in, I've got to do all that. It becomes that you spend half your time on calls. And we don't want that. We want you focused on your business. So for me, what I do is say, what is it that I can be involved in the community that will not only give me the most value, but I can give value to as well. And so I don't get on Genius Entrepreneur Mastermind calls all the time. I have been on there as a mentor, but I will listen to the recordings if it's allocated time in my diary. Otherwise, I don't. But I know I can go back and access them. Roger will recommend books. I read them if it's relevant to me. I don't do everything that's recommended. There is too much. So just take on what is relevant to you at the time, excuse me, and just make sure this is part of your plan. Awesome. So that was a lot of talking. That's why I'm starting to lose my voice. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go through in the order that you shared a moment ago and get you all just to any questions you have and share which of the care code resonated with you the most, and that can be everyone on the call. And then if there's, once we've done the questions, we're finished on this call. So Susan.
Terri, this is Adeline, can you bring up the care, the page that shows the 4 care things?
I can. I'll leave that on there. Let's just, right, I'll just hang on. I just got to minimize that so I can share it. There you go. All right. Over to you, Susan.
Okay. Well, actually, I suppose they all resonate to some extent. Responsibility, personal responsibility is probably the most important one, I think, generally. It's something that's always been important to me. When I was managing, it was important to me that the people that worked in my team recognized that they were responsible for meeting commitments, and that when you promise to do something, that's what you do. And if you can't do it, then there's help, and don't overpromise. Under promise and over deliver is really that always will do you better. So
totally.
I guess that's the one.
Totally. I love that. And it's a lesson that I've had to learn very much over the years, not to overpromise. Overcommit and then under deliver, it's very disappointing. But if, like you said, if you under promise basically and then over deliver, it's a lot better way. Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Jeff and Adeline, if you would like to come in the order that you choose.
I can go first. So for me, it's confidence. As I mentioned, one of the things we're looking at is me leaving my job to work full-time on this business. And so having the confidence that we can do it, that we can achieve the financial goals that we've set out for ourselves. I think that's what resonates most with me.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, that's a big step. Thank you. Jeff.
I'm on the fence with confidence and authority. To be honest with you, there's, we get a lot of contact from our customers that say how great our product is and all that kind of stuff. And that feels really good. And that's not something that I'm used to in my life, like that kind of positive message. So the idea of being an authority about what I do, I really like that. Or an authority in business, or someone who's respected in business.
Awesome. And that's something that we will go through further on your strategy call, is because it's that authority part of your life that's so important moving forward. So thanks for sharing that, Jeff. That's really relevant to everyone. So everyone be prepared for that. We are going to go through some authority side, the meaningful side of, you know, what you do, and being that stand for something that people see you as. So love it. Thanks, Jeff, for sharing. Okay, Ernest.
Yeah, I think for me, it's more on the responsibility. I believe a lot in empowering my staff for them to make decisions, and of course be accountable for them. Through this empowerment, of course, you can see them growing, allowing them to make mistakes, but of course to hopefully learn and not do it again. That's how I believe I'm able to build a strong team, and they are independent, and roughly they would know the direction that I want them to go.
That's perfect. I'll just give you a quick little story about someone that came along to iLab, and this has happened many times. But one lady in particular, I always say, we've got a code of conduct in iLab, and one is be present like you need to teach it. And so I always say that we'll go back through the program, because it's 2 weeks, and I'll call you on this code if you're not honouring it, because everyone agrees, we'll agree to that. Now, a lot of people are busy in their lives, and they come there and they've got businesses. And so this one particular lady, she was always on a laptop, and I'd say to her, did you take a lot of notes? She said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm emailing my team. They just can't do it without me. And I said, what do you mean they can't do it without you? You're not there. She said, no, they need me to make decisions because it's not going to flow. And I said, are you serious? Like, tell me about them. So we had a bit of a conversation in the group, and she was just being controlling. Like, she was not allowing them. She was not showing them she trusted them. So I went out and I shut her laptop, and she went, I can't. Their business will die if I don't do this. And I said, no, it won't. And I said, you've got a commitment to me that you will not open that laptop because you're not taking notes. Write it in your notebook. You'll not open that laptop until the end of the day. And she said, okay, all right, I'll tell you this. In the break, I'm going to tell my team that they can make decisions, and I'll check in at the end of the day. And so this was early in the first week. By the end of the second week, her team was so happy because she wasn't there telling them what to do all the time. They suddenly could be empowered enough to make decisions for themselves. They were scared to. They were scared to because she didn't put enough trust in them. So it's so important that you teach them that level of personal responsibility and trust, which is really, really key. So as you're moving forward, this is something, because we do feel like we'll lose control if we're not doing it. And it's something that, particularly if you're looking to build a team, get that process happening straight away, where straight away you're attracting people who you can give their own level of responsibility to. So thanks for sharing that, Ernest. Awesome. Okay, Cedric and Flora.
I guess for me, I'm more inclining towards either confidence or authority, but I think it's more to confidence. Even though I don't sound very confident right now.
That confidence?
Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Flora?
I'm looking at confidence as well. Basically, I want to have the ability to overcome what obstacles or challenges that we might face, and on top of that, to prove others that our vision is on the right track and on the right path.
Beautiful. And it's the thing, that's the most challenging thing for some people, right, in business is, you know, what I'm doing, is it good enough? Is it going to work? Are we on the right track? And one thing before I just ask if there's any questions, one thing that to focus on is we fall too much in love with our product and what we have to offer, as opposed to falling in love with the customer and the problem that we're solving for the customer. If you can always have your thinking around, am I solving a problem for a customer? Do I have the best solution for them? And fall very much in love with your customer. This will be something that is a theme of what Roger will portray all the way through this. If as soon as you've got too much on my product is great, why does nobody want it? Why is it not getting any traction? It's because you haven't fallen in love with your customer enough, which could mean you're not clear on who they are. You haven't clearly defined who they are. So this will come up a lot, obviously, throughout this year. So something important for you all to consider. Yeah, fall in love with your customer and not your product. But thank you for sharing. Awesome. Are there any questions before we finish off? No, we're all good.
Sorry, I do have a question. I was trying to find my unmute button.
I could see you looking.
Yes. So one of the things that I found very helpful was the stuff that Roger was talking about at the workshop on Friday, like sharing the 5 steps, you know, where he had step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and the different things. Can we get a copy of some of the slides that he showed on Friday?
From the Entrepreneur 5.0?
Yes, correct.
Slides? Yeah, I actually have them somewhere, but yeah, absolutely.
Great.
He usually does share them with everyone anyway.
I got it.
So yeah, I always say to people, sometimes if you can access the slides, you don't need to take as many notes.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Terri, I would like to have a copy as well. I mean, I missed out some sections of that on the Entrepreneur 5.0.
Yeah, totally. I'll get access of them. I have got them somewhere myself. So it's, I mean, whether he's changed any of it from Perth to Singapore, sure. But I'll find out. It's usually because Roger, you will find with Roger, he's very much in the moment. He has a plan. He's, you know, anything he's presenting at, he has a plan, but he delivers to the audience. So he will change things slightly. So there could be some changes. But yeah, that's fine. I can totally do that.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Terri.
All right. Any other questions?
Terri, can we have your slides from this presentation too?
Yeah, I'll put these definitely. This is where you can go into Facebook and Genius U and access them.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll definitely post slides in there. Yep. Great question. Thank you. All right. If there's not any further questions, Susan, did you have something else? Or?
Nope. That's it. Thank you.
You look like with bated breath, ready to ask something else.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And for those that are not, because I know Nicole will be listening in on this recording. Yeah, there's a couple that couldn't make it to this particular one. So this is able, if you want to listen back on it, the recording will be posted as well. Look forward to having strategy calls with most of you that I'll be working with. If not myself, like I said, you'll be working with Donna. You'll be notified of that hopefully by the end of this week. Hopefully by the end of this week, you'll be allocated to a group as well, and you'll know when your call schedule is so that you can put these in your diary. And yeah, it's good. We're on the same time zone. So it's, you know, if you need to contact me at all, please do so. Crystal Circle at entrepreneursinstitute.com is Melody's. Mine is just Terri with an I at entrepreneursinstitute.com, and Donna's is Donna at Entrepreneurs Institute. So very easy to access us if you haven't had emails already. On that note, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. So if everyone wants to unmute, and also goodbye, and look forward to hopefully seeing you at the Crystal Circle conference in Bali.
Okay,
right.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.